And so my job is to bring them into the information flow as soon as I can.
Hello, Greg. I'm Robert Reber. I'm
How
an
you doing?
aspiring director of photography. I have a couple questions. One of the first ones being, with all the technical positions on set, the ones that aren't in lights and aren't the famous ones like grip, gaffer,
yeah.
and stuff like that, how does the AD interact with them?
I try to, from day one, make those guys very good friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
The rigging of the lights, the moving of the lights, the walls, set pieces, all of these things can make or break a schedule. And so I bring those guys into my world as quick as I can with where we're going, what we're doing. I want them to be aware of what's coming up next. A good gaffer key grip team will always be a set or two ahead of us. Mm-hmm. One of the things I love about a key grip and a great gaffer is they love to rig things. So we're gonna do a shot over here. Oh, I can do a light and I can build a thing. And they just wanna build. They wanna get the drills out, the hammers out, the rigging out, the chains, drop stuff from the ceiling, put it on a car, put it on a roller coaster. They love that. And so it makes making filmmaking fun. If you can find what their joy is, which that is, you can really bring them into the fold and make the day go better and faster. You also have to know that these guys work their butts off. They lift things, they're working the longest hours of the day next to maybe the drivers. And so you gotta respect what their effort is. We really do, because if, lifting heavy equipment and dragging these lights up into the ceiling, it's hard work. And so you really want to let them know that you also respect them and just treat them with the hard work that they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, with the scheduling, that the gaffers and the grips do put a lot of time and effort into it. When it comes down to scheduling for like let's say call times, or what would you say an average time is for like a technical position, something that's not like an actor director?
Oh sure, let's say call time on a Monday is 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. To unload, the grip and electric crew is going to arrive prior to 7 a.m. to unload the trucks if we're on location, mm-hmm. anywhere between 6 and 6:30. So we shoot from 7 to 8 o'clock at night, mm-hmm. and now they got to load the trucks up if we're moving at the end of that day. If not, they got to strike the gear, park it enough so that they can then make it safe, so we can come back the next day and get in an hour early. Mm-hmm. So if it's a 12-hour day for us, it's a 14-hour day for them. That's a good, easy model to use. Mm-hmm. So if you're doing that 5 days a week, it gets to be a long week. Right. One of the things that they get punished in a way is part of the contract that most IAA groups work under is they also get a shortened turnaround. Mm-hmm. So what is turnaround? Turnaround is when we wrap to when we come back. So if I wrap at 8, that means I can bring them back to work 9 hours later. That's mm-hmm. the time they leave the set to come back to the set. They got to go home, sleep, do their laundry, right. kiss their wife, and come back. So by Friday, that gets to be a bit tedious. And so you have mm-hmm. to really respect how you give them turnaround, how you treat these guys, because a tired crew can also become a dangerous crew. Mm-hmm. Because you start making mistakes after 70 hours of work in 4 days.
Right. Now, how about another technical question? How does an assistant director and AD deal with the new technologies, like is there a difference between to an AD shooting on a Red, Alexa?
Absolutely. Well, brand to brand, not so much. I kind of know a lot about the cameras because I have friends that are DPs, so I could tell you some eccentricities about the Alexa versus the Red, mm-hmm. Which model of the Red, the one with the fan, the one without the fan. Mm-hmm. I have particular things I don't like about the one with the fan because you can't cut one of it. It's a thing.
Right.
So I try to get into the head of the DIT and the DP as quickly as I can to know what their challenges are. Are we shooting 2K or 4K? Are we doing high speed, not high speed? If I'm doing normal camera work at a normal speed and then we're doing an effect, like the show that I'm on now, we're doing an average of 100 effects a week, visual effects a week. So we'll do high speed, we'll do speed ramping, which means additional lights. So as soon as I get information about a scene where, hey, the next scene coming up, we're going to do a ramp, and we're going to do it at the end of the scene, and they'll get the extra lights ready. Mm-hmm. And so my job is to bring them into the information flow as soon as I can. Mm-hmm. If not, they'll go, why didn't you tell me? And now they got to go to the truck to get the light, and mm-hmm. we all going, why is it taking so long?
Right.
So they can either be heroes, or I can help them become heroes, which they already are, or they can really slow things down because they're not a part of it, and they're not planning ahead. I really, really like to know about the technology that mm-hmm. we're using.
And on top of that, or not on top of that, another question as to technically wise, is there any way to mesh sound, camera, and actors and director so that they all run synchronously, or does it sometimes? Are you always waiting on somebody?
There's always going to be something, and the trick is you want to minimize somebody's exposure. And the last thing you want to have an AD say is, "Well, another 5-minute sound delay." The sound department hates that. Now you may say it jokingly, or another costly grip delay while they bring in a stand with a flag. Here's the deal: it's a live, living organism. This set that you're running. So respect the people that you work with and allow them to do what they need to do, but also let them know the pressures that you're under as an AD. If they don't respond, then you have to act accordingly. I've got to communicate with the department heads. I've got to communicate with the DP if the gaffer and the key grip and/or one or the other isn't doing what I need done. Because we all signed on to an idea that today we're going to shoot this body of work. If they don't buy into that and we don't make the day, then we all sacrifice. We either work 17 hours and get beat up, or we get to go home early and take care of our families and have a life and maybe not get stuck on the 405 coming back from Santa Monica at 6 in the afternoon. So there are things we can do to help each other that make life better. From simple things like park their trucks closer. Where's their equipment coming from? Where's the access? Now, I work on a multi-camera show right now, and the flow of the cameras from set to set is a very complicated thing because you've got cables coming off of everything, the Fisher booms, and to move that and the video village and all of that equipment can either take 5 minutes or 15 or 20. 5 moves in a day, you've just lost an hour of time that'll never come back. You're either paying for it in overtime or that time takes away from the takes that you're shooting. So you have less time with your kid actors, less time with your adults, and that costs money. So the way all that information moves, both physically and logistically, in a digital format is very important. And so my job is to find out what is the best, fastest way we possibly have that we can afford. And those guys are key. Right.
And my final question is, it's to safety. How much is in the AD's hands with safety on a set, with just everything that's going on, whether there be fighting or live action?
Everything.
Or just...
it all comes. I'm the bartender in the room. If you go to a bar and the bartender gets you drunk and he lets you drive home, legally he's the guy. I'm the bartender on the set. I'm the lifeguard, the safety manager, the sheriff, the babysitter, whatever you want to call it. So if we're at the beginning of a day, I do a safety organizational, and I combine the two because it lets everybody hates safety meetings. They hate them. They're like, oh, we're wasting time on a safety meeting until someone gets hurt. But I also try to let them know what we're doing and what's coming up throughout the day. And I'll say, hey, we're going to be working with a helicopter later this afternoon. Today, right now in the morning, it's all normal stuff. I'll do another safety meeting when the helicopter comes up. I'll pull the actor and the cameraman aside. I'll have many meetings. The last thing I want to do is have somebody go home one finger shorter than when they started. And I've been on sets where stuff happens. There's a lot of equipment. There's lifts, bars, chains, cables, dogs, cats, leopards, elephants. There's kids. There's stuff, there's egos. And so your job is to not let the insanity overtake the humanity, if you will. We want to we want to get it. Everybody really wants to work hard. But when you're doing cable pulls and green screen and stunts, you've got to do with it. It's all comes to me. And I take it very much to heart.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you. That was very informative. And
thank you very much
for coming out.
My pleasure.